Continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Warner Anderson as Matthew Swain, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, and Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie.
New York City, Friday night.
Please deposit 85 cents for 3 minutes.
Betty Anderson Harrington is making a long-distance call to her mother in Peyton Place. At that exact moment, Julie Anderson is leaving the house for an impulsively made last-minute date with Leslie Harrington. Only a second of mistiming, and a pattern is set that will change the lives of 3 families for months to come. Now it is Saturday morning in New England, a time for the young to blow off steam, and for the rest of us to tidy up the details of our lives.
Yes. You know me, Paul. Yes. I'm surprised you recognize me. Why? Well, it's...
You going to say it too?
Say what?
It was 18 years ago.
Yes, it was. I recognized you.
Well, you didn't seem too anxious to admit it. You got a minute?
All right.
I heard you'd been away.
Yes, for a long time.
So have I.
I know.
Where have you been?
Yale?
Yale, that's very nice.
Cambridge.
Not Oxford?
No, Cambridge. Took a master's there. You really want to hear the rest of it?
Sure. Just go ahead. I'll just follow you around.
Well, there were 2 years in Paris. Glorious years.
Wine, women, and song.
Now, that's Vienna.
You were there, too?
Briefly. Mr. Carson.
Elliot. Well, you're certainly not a kid anymore, Paul. You're older now than I was then. What were you doing in Europe?
Studying. Teaching.
Teaching?
At Grenoble, the university. There on an exchange agreement.
What are you doing now?
And now I'm at Peyton, at the college.
Studying?
Teaching.
Oh.
Well, Elliot, I'm glad you're back.
Oh, yeah?
Was that a stupid thing for me to say?
I thought about you, Paul. Of course, I had a lot of time to think about you. Standing up there on the witness stand, pointing a little finger at me.
It wasn't my little finger. It was a little finger. I was a kid.
You're old enough for the jury to believe you.
That jury believed the other evidence. The fingerprints of blood on your clothing. The quarrels, rumors of another woman. And that man you heard run out, Elliot, that invisible man of yours.
You never heard me quarreling with your sister.
Why would I have lied? I liked you. I admired you. You were one of my boyhood heroes. Did you know that? And I never blamed you for what happened, Elliot, because I knew what my sister was like.
And you always were a very smart kid.
Well, I didn't have to be very smart.
Paul, if you heard anyone, you didn't hear me. Do you know what that means?
No, not exactly.
Well, you should. It means I'm going to find out if you heard anyone at all that night. And if you did, who it was. Who was it?
It was you.
Pity the poor working girl. She toilets even in the cold.
Well, some people loaf it.
Poor girl doesn't realize what a fine art loafing is. The underprivileged.
What are you two aristocrats up to this afternoon?
We promised Aunt Laura we'd go by the house and pick up some stuff.
I envy her. Off to Europe.
Hey, listen, why don't we all go? Yeah, I got enough change.
Yeah, I make 80 cents an hour working for Mother.
Well, let's see, we can schedule the trip for 1983.
Rod, did Betty have any news last night?
Last night?
When she called her mother.
From New York? I wonder why Mrs. Anderson didn't tell me.
Well, she called our house first. She didn't know her mother come back home.
Well, I better go talk to Mrs. Anderson. I'll wait here. Allison, did you tell Betty about her father?
No, I didn't have a chance to. She hung up so fast. I hope everything's all right.
I hope so, too.
Hope everything's all right.
Come on, I'll buy you a cup of cocoa.
Okay, I'll just put this inside. You and Rod are closer now, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess so.
I can tell.
Well, lots happened. Mother's death and Betty running away. How do you like college?
I haven't really started yet. I just registered.
You know, funny, last year we were both accelerated students. I guess I stopped accelerating.
You can always start.
I wish we'd graduate together.
I'll be back for the ceremony in June. We'll still walk down the aisle together, Norman.
Yeah, with 200 other kids.
Well, I won't notice them if you won't.
It's a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Rod and I are going to the movie tonight. Come with us.
I don't know. What's the picture?
We haven't looked yet. We just wanted to get out of the house. You worried whether you should go?
I guess so. What do you think?
You know what I think, Allison? After all that's happened, the only thing that really matters is for the three of us to stay close. Close, Allison, that's all.
You know what I think, Norman? I think you're right.
You mean Betty called and I wasn't there?
Well, Allison told her you'd move back home. She was going to call you here.
Yes, I left the house. I went out to dinner.
Well, how would you know Betty'd call?
Well, she must be in some kind of trouble.
Not necessarily.
Well, why else would she call?
Don't worry.
I can't help it, Rod.
She wants us to worry. I'm sorry. It's true. New York, running away, phone calls. She's punishing us. Maybe she's got a right. I don't know.
Look, if she knew about her father, I know she'd come back.
How is Mr. Anderson?
Oh. I drove out to the sanitarium this morning. He's always so strange, so silent.
No contact at all?
No, doctors say it'll take a little time.
Next time, don't go out there alone. Call me, will you?
Thank you.
Rod, she'll be all right. She's a grown woman.
She's just a girl. And New York is no place for a young girl to be alone.
Do you have children? Your occupation, Mr. Anderson?
Salesman.
You know where you are now?
Hospital.
Who is Betty? Is your daughter's name Betty? Is your daughter's name Betty? Mr. Anderson, George, who is Betty? Patient George Anderson, second preliminary examination. The patient is aware of his identity and the present environment. He answers questions, but his responses are passive, and he volunteers nothing, with a total rejection of any mention of his daughter. There is a possibility of progressive withdrawal into the full catatonic state.
Patient.
Looks like someone got caught in the rain.
Hi, I took the wrong bus. I had to wait for another one.
Should have grabbed a cab. This is no day to budget.
I'm sorry, I'm going to get everything soaked.
No problem. Come on in. Let me turn down our neighbors from the south.
Sharon, this is marvelous.
You like it?
Oh, it's great. Did you fix it up yourself?
Some of it. Libby, my old roommate, she knows a lot of decorated fellas. But it's home.
It's yours?
Yeah. I better take these things in the bar.
Do you mind if I see the rest?
No, come on.
Thanks.
Yes, I was trying to catch a nap before, and I forget to turn things off. Come on in.
Thanks. You know, I was glad when you called. I was feeling kind of depressed.
How come?
I don't know. I tried to call home last night.
What's his name, Raj?
Rod. No, my mother. I couldn't get her. But she's moved back home again, so I guess she and Daddy are back together.
Congratulations. She and Daddy ever split before?
Not exactly.
Mine set a record. Sometimes Dad never got the time to unpack his suitcase before he was out again.
Doesn't seem to have bothered you much.
Their problems are their problems. Well, that looks like a cyclone hit a cosmetic case, doesn't it?
Looks like a pharmacist, too, Sharon.
Sometimes a girl can go a long way on the right pill. Do you feel like a drink?
Yeah, you got some coffee?
Coffee? Yeah, sure. This way. Come on.
Fine.
What's the job?
Junior Modes? I haven't accepted it. Yet. Like you said the other day, you can't live on $75 a week, not here in New York.
So that's why you called home. Well, it's a good thing you didn't get through. I mean, you would have been trying not to cry, your mother would have been telling you how much she missed you, and you would have ended back in Peyton Place, frying whatchamacallit's morning bacon.
I'd settle for that if I thought Rod'd take me back.
That isn't much to settle for. Not with what you've got. Have an idea. Why don't you move in here with me?
Can't pay this kind of rent.
Oh, don't worry about the rent. I've got so much room here.
Well, what about Libby?
I told you Libby is sailing around the Greek islands somewhere. Mykonos, Kronos, who knows?
When's she coming back?
That depends on how long love lasts. She's a gorgeous kid. But honestly, I do need a roommate here. I get so bugged with this place.
You must go out.
No, I'm a one-man girl.
Is there a man now?
Yeah, Phil, but Phil lives in Pittsburgh.
That's tough.
Oh, he gets into town often, but he has a family, and they like to see him on weekends. He's supposed to be back in on Tuesday. But right now, it seems like a year from Tuesday. Go on, make yourself at home. You like the music?
I love it.